Hello, what's up, and welcome back to my channel. I'm currently wearing my cute, it's a grandpa thing sweater I got when I was thrifting in Guatemala just because it seemed fitting, you know, budgeting and traveling, talking about my Guatemala trip. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down every single thing that I spent when I went traveling in Central America. Now, even though I didn't do all of Central America, and even though I ended my trip a little bit early, if you want to hear about that, check out this video and I talk about it here. I'm gonna break down how I budgeted for this trip, how much I spent, in hopes that it will help you when you are planning how much to budget for your trip. This doesn't have to necessarily be for Central America. It can help you budget for anywhere. Let's get into it. Hello, what's up, and welcome back to my channel, Roam with Rach. If you don't know who I am, my name's Rachel and I make videos on fashion, travel, and environmentalism. So if you like any of those things, you should consider subscribing to me. Okay, so I'm gonna start with talking about how I budgeted for this trip. Then I'm gonna talk about how I find cheap accommodations and how to save money when you're on the trip. Then I'm going to be talking about how much I spent and breaking down into different sections how much I spent. Then I'm gonna be talking about what you should budget and how this will help you make a budget for your trip. Okay, so how I budgeted for this trip. So when I am budgeting for any trip, I first off look at travel blogs because they kind of can give you an idea of the average per day. I kind of use this as a starting point and then continue on doing my research by looking at prices of accommodations that I want to stay in and prices of flights. After I've kind of booked out my flight and figured out like a cheap time to fly, the season I want to go, and break it down. Again, if you want to know how to plan a trip, I've made a video about that, so I will link it here. That talks about like how I decide where to go in the first place. But this video is more about budgeting. So I look at travel blogs and it can kind of give you an idea of like an average price per day, average price of food, average price of transportation. And that helps me kind of break down how much I'm going to spend per day. And then I just take that price, I usually round it up a little bit because sometimes you never know what's gonna happen. So I like to have more money rather than less money. And then I just multiply that by like how many days I'm going to be in whatever country I'm doing my research on. But yeah, the main things to know is look up travel blogs. They're super useful. Watch travel vlogs like my videos that I make, and always round up because it's better to have more money than it is to have less money. Something else to note that I just got into and I wish I knew when I started traveling was to get a travel credit card. Now, this video is not sponsored, but I just recently got a travel credit card and I love it a lot. It's the TD First Class Travel, I think is what it's called. Honestly, I just got that credit card before this trip and I booked everything for this trip on that card. And I have gotten so many points from doing that I just recently booked my next trip, which is happening next month. And it saved me so much money. Like a stupid amount of money was saved. It's honestly just free money at that point. If you like pay your credit card bills, don't like put everything on your credit card and then don't pay for it. Like, be smart, okay? How I find cheap accommodation. There's a couple of things I do. For me, I'm still in my backpacking era, okay? I'm not old enough yet that I've grown out of hostels. I still like staying in hostels. And so I usually look up everything on Hostel World to start. So I will type in the city that I'm going to, put in how many days I'm gonna be staying, one guest, just me, and I will look at the average prices for different types of hostels. Now there's a couple things that I'm looking at when I'm on Hostel World. First off, I'm looking for good ratings. Do people like this place? Are they giving it a good review? I will read through all of those ratings to make sure that this is a place that I'm going to want to stay. Because I've traveled so much, a bad review isn't necessarily a no for me. It's just depending on what I'm looking for in a trip. If I know I'm going to a country like Thailand, for example, where it's so cheap to eat out, if someone writes in the Hostel World review, oh, their kitchen was so dirty, I don't really care because I'm not gonna be using their kitchen a lot. But if I'm somewhere in Europe where I do want to be cooking some meals to save some money, then I probably will care about the kitchen. So the first thing is reviews. The second is the number of reviews. Now in Hostel World, you can see the amount of reviews. If a hostel is super popular, it'll have thousands of reviews. If a hostel is new, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad hostel, but I want to know that there's not just like a small amount of people reviewing that hostel, because that's going to skew the ratings. Then I look at the price, and for price I think about how long I'm going to be in that specific city. Is it a city that I want to splurge in and have some fun? Is it a city that I want to be chillin' and just go for the basic budget backpacker life? What vibe am I going for in each place, right? This kind of like helps me choose which hostel I want as well, because if I can save on a couple bucks and there's like an 8-star hostel for $10 and there's like a 9-star hostel for like $40, then I'm gonna go in the cheaper hostel. All this like give and take, but again, I look at the ratings, I look at the amount of reviews, and I look at the price, and that helps me kind of decide and get the best accommodation for the vibe I'm going for my buck. Speaking of hostels and reviewing hostels and all that jazz, you should consider following me on TikTok, because I've actually started reviewing the hostels that I go to visit. So follow me on there if you want to see ratings of hostels that I've stayed in. If you are really on a budget and want to find super cheap accommodation or free accommodation, you should look at Worldpackers. I haven't personally used Worldpackers, but I've heard so many good things from people who have. Basically, it's a website where you can find volunteer work, where you can volunteer and stay in a certain place, but then get free accommodation. This is a great option if you are traveling for a long period of time, because that means you can really immerse yourself in wherever you are and stay there for a longer period. Also, in the spirit of saving money, I made a whole video on how to save money while you're traveling, so I will link that here. It's an oldie but a goodie. I talked about just different ways to save money while you're already on your trip. Okay, now the moment everyone has been waiting for. How much did I spend when I was on my backpacking trip? So this is excluding flights, just my day-to-day costs. Now, I was in Guatemala for about 20 days, and in those 20 days, I spent $830 US. Now, I'm talking about the price in US dollars because a lot of the times when I was in Guatemala, I couldn't get Guatemalan quetzales right off the bat, and so I had to exchange Canadian money for US money and then exchange US money for Guatemalan quetzales when I could. This isn't ideal, but at the time it was the best situation for me. You're always gonna lose money when you're exchanging in that country, or a lot of the time you're gonna lose money exchanging in that country. They did not have any Guatemalan quetzales at my currency exchange place, so I thought the next best thing would be to exchange it to US in my own currency exchange place back at home, so that I could save money in that sense. But yes, so overall I will be talking about things in US dollars for that reason. And then for Costa Rica, I was in Costa Rica for a week. One day I stayed in San Jose before I met up with all my friends, and I did a yoga retreat. And in those 8 days, I spent $1,382 US. Now, as you can see, there's a big difference between Costa Rica and Guatemala, and that is something to note when you are traveling, which countries are more expensive and trendy, and which countries are a little more budget friendly. Mind you, I did not travel to Costa Rica because it was trendy. I just traveled to Costa Rica because that's where the yoga retreat was taking place. Obviously a more expensive activity, which is why I'm briefly going to talk about Costa Rica, but mainly focus on Guatemala, because Guatemala was when I was truly backpacking and traveling. So how did I spend all this money? How did I spend that $830 US in Guatemala? Let's break it down. For food, I spent about $166.50 US. So that averaged out for 20 days to about $8 US a day for food. For accommodation, I spent $390 US, which for 20 days averaged out to be about $20 a day for accommodation. Again, not bad, definitely a little on the higher side, but not the worst. For excursions, the main excursions I did were entrance fees, visiting a church, and the big one, of course, being my volcano hike, which was a little bit more pricey because I went with a more well-known travel company for my volcano hike. But overall excursions, if you were to average them out for the 20 days, it would be about $8 a day. And then domestic travel, this is travel within the country that I was at, not flights to and from. That was about $127.50 US. This averaged out to about $6 a day. I don't really think there's anything I could have done to make this cheaper. Shuttle buses were kind of like, it is what it is. Sometimes if you book at your hostel last minute, it can work out to be cheaper, but then you run the risk of buses filling up. I did book everything in advance on a website called like Guatemala. I think that's what it's called. I'll put the name on the screen. But if you're more of a budget backpacker, maybe consider booking with your hostel at the last minute. It might be cheaper. And then on other things, I spent about 89 US dollars. So this averaged out to be about $4 a day on just other things. For me, that was like laundry, my phone plan, different little trinkets and postcards to send back home. And then thrift shopping. I spent a whole 13 US dollars thrift shopping one day. But I got this sweater and some really cool other things, so it was worth every penny. From Canada to Guatemala, I spent 243 US dollars to get there. Then I flew from Guatemala to Costa Rica. That journey was 129 US, a little bit more expensive than I would have hoped. I had like certain dates and times that I had to be to another place. So sometimes when you have specific dates, that jacks up the price. And then to fly home from Costa Rica, again, I did end my trip early, which resulted in a really expensive flight home from a certain airport in Costa Rica, the Liberia airport. So that was 545 US dollars. I spent a grand total of 917 US dollars on my flights for this trip. Very briefly, I'll just put on the screen the prices and the averages I spent for 8 days in Costa Rica. Obviously this is skewed because the yoga retreat I went on was about 920 US dollars, which is definitely more expensive than being on a backpacker budget. But again, this was something fun and different that I wanted to do. So that's why it was okay that it was a little bit more pricey. Okay, so that is how much I spent on my trip. Now, what does that mean for you? Here are some things to remember when you are planning your budget for a trip. First off, I don't drink coffee. Okay, I don't drink coffee. If you are a coffee drinker, that means you're gonna have to buy a coffee every day, which can add up. That was not added into my budget because I do not drink coffee. Along with that, I don't drink alcohol that much. And if I do, other people are typically buying my drinks. That sounds kind of silly, but it's true. I'm not a huge drinker. But if I am drinking, I'm gonna go for like a cheaper option, like maybe a beer or a cocktail special if there's something on for cheap or for promo. Obviously, if you are someone who wants to drink and you are someone who wants to go out every single night, you will need to add that into your budget. This can really add up on a backpacking trip. If you are partying nonstop, you are going to fly through your money. I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing, but I'm just saying that it's something to note. And when you're thinking about budgeting for yourself, there's 3 different levels of backpacker that you could fall into. You could be a budget backpacker. This is the kind of person who's going to look for the cheapest accommodation. You don't care for anything fancy. You don't need a super comfortable bed. You're okay maybe sleeping on the beach one night, or you know, some people do that, don't laugh. But you're okay with doing the more cheap option. You're going to save money. You're going to be eating local food all the time so that you can have the cheapest experience. That would be what I call my budget backpacker. Then you have your bougie backpacker. You want a little bit more comfortable hostels or hotel experiences. You will want to eat local cuisine, but sometimes you also might want to eat at like a Western restaurant or a McDonald's or something like that. You're going to want to be like buying a lot of souvenirs and trinkets. You're going to be drinking out. You're not going to be holding back on buying a coffee every day or buying yourself a treat every single day. If you watch my videos before, you already know what I'm going to say, but I like to consider myself somewhere in between the bougie and the budget. As an average backpacker, I'm slightly to the bougie side. Just slightly, okay? For my budget backpackers, I could say you could travel through Guatemala for about $25 to $30. For my bougie backpackers, I would say to budget anywhere from $40 to $50. And then for the average people in the middle, I would say you could budget about $35 per day. I say just Guatemala, even though I'm probably gonna title this video something about all of Central America, but just because me going through this for a certain country kind of gives you an idea of how you can go about it for different countries on a big backpacking trip. So essentially taking that average, multiplying it by the days you're gonna be there, seeing the average hostels, seeing the average like food prices and everything like that, and then making an executive decision on your budget. So this video is really giving you the tools and the skills to take my example and use it to budget really any trip. But with that being said, that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for having this lovely discussion with me about money. As you can see, I spent way more than I intended because I ended my trip early, because I did a fancy schmancy yoga retreat. But you know what? It was an experience, and life is not always as it is planned, which is why I kind of said in the beginning of this video, always make sure you have more money than you account for. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I post videos every single Sunday at 11 a.m. That's all for this video, and I will see you next week. Happy budgeting. Bye.